Welcome to Insight Builder channel, large language model automators, Python experts, and my dear friends. Conda Virtual Environment, Intro and Practice. Using Conda Virtual Environment for your projects, let's start with the brief. Conda is part of Anaconda distribution and it can be installed using the mini Conda installer. We'll be discussing how to get access to it and then install it also. Conda is used widely in data science circles. So if you're thinking of entering into data science and the related applications, then it is better that you understand how Conda works. It controls the Python version for each environment. Each Conda environment can have their own Python version. What I mean by this is Conda environment 1 can have Python version 3.7 and Conda Virtual Environment 2 can have Python version 3.11. So like this, you can have different Python versions. We'll be seeing how it works once we go into the actual practice. So stay tuned till the end of the video. It manages the versions and dependencies conflicts also. So Conda environment takes care of the installation of each and every library that you request for. Most of the time, the library that you request might already exist in the Conda environment, or the library that you are requesting might have dependent library which might have conflicts. So such kind of dependency and version mismatches can be taken care by Conda. We can use pip also to do the package installation, but then it is better to always use the Conda's own package management processes. Some of the challenges. The Conda virtual environment will also take additional space. Most importantly, the Conda virtual environment will have larger file size, or the space that is occupied by the Conda environment will be more compared to other virtual environments. This is primarily because of the channel from which it is downloading the packages. All the package managers like pip, Conda, Tox, Poetry, all have their own repositories to which they connect and then pull the packages. Most of the virtual environments, like the Python's own virtual environment, uses the PyPy repository to pull the packages. If in case your virtual environment is going to be Conda, then it has its own channels like Conda Forge, it has NVIDIA, it has Rapids AI. So each companies or each open source libraries have their own repositories or channels from which it can download the package. Because of this, cleaning up the Conda virtual environment can be a challenge. Conda has a steep learning curve. You have to practice a lot because what Conda does is not sometimes intuitive. So you have to see what happens mechanically inside the file systems, inside the drives and folders to understand better. Okay, so we have seen the brief and we have seen the challenges also. Now let us dive into the installation as well as some of the commands that you will use as a beginner. Actually get access to Conda, you can use two ways. One is to install the Anaconda framework. The another option is to use the docs.conda.io website and get access to the mini Conda version installer. The mini Conda version installer has both Windows, Linux and Mac installers separately, and you can download it, and once you complete the installation, your Conda installation will happen in this location. And in order for you to start working with Conda, you need to first of all activate it. So to activate the Conda, you need to use this command, source Conda sh. Once you do that, then you can use all the Conda commands. Like Conda env list will list the various environments that is already available. You can use Conda create -n switch to create the new environment, or if you want to create a new environment in a particular path, then you can use the p switch. You can use the Conda activate environment name to activate the environment. Then you can use the Conda install. So this is where it is different from the other virtual environments mostly use pip installation. In case of Conda, it uses its own installer. What this does is when you are going to use pip Conda install, you can mention the channel name. So by using a -c switch, we'll be seeing that in action in a couple of minutes. After that, we have Conda environment export, through which you can export the entire environment library details into a file. That is an YAML file, and you can use Conda environment update to update the environment. It is similar to requirements.txt. If you guys are new to Python, or if you guys are new to the virtual environment process and procedures, I would suggest to take a look at the other videos that I've attached along with this video in the below list. Below the description of this video, you will find the other videos. Take a look at that, and you will get some idea about the virtual environment, the Python's own virtual environment module, etc. I believe that you like this content. Do leave a like, share it with others, and subscribe to my channel for further updates on open source ecosystem as a whole. Because I believe that problem solving is done best in an open fashion. And once you solve the problem openly and sharing it with others, we can all grow together. So I cover most of the open source libraries in Python as well as in the associated applications. Before going to the shell, I would want to share some of the information regarding the Conda environment. One of the major applications of Conda, as I was telling, is in data science. And among the data science, natural language processing is one of the domains in which the Conda environment is widely used. If you have come across the large language models related discussion, then you must have heard of one-click installer by Uba Booga. This one-click installer specifically uses Conda environment, as you can see here. This is the start_linux.sh file. There's a similar file if you go into the root of this folder. If you go into start_Macintosh or start_Windows, it will have similar kind of a script for the specific operating system. And each of the operating system, the Conda installer is used, and the Conda environment is created. The main reason why I am insisting on learning about Conda environment is that the idea of using all this open source ecosystem libraries can be done only when you know how they are implemented and how the developers are working with the various tools. So Conda is one such tool. So do provide your time and learn it. It will take hardly 1 to 2 hours of your time and a virtual machine for you to learn without any fear. Here you see I am on the virtual machine that has been created specifically for the learning purpose. It's a Fedora machine that I am running on QEMU virtual environment. Since we have to show the installation process, I would like to go back to the browser, and I would like to show you how to get access to the Conda environment. So let us go for mini Conda documentation, and from there you can go to installation, and here you see that there are various installers that you can get, and you can start installing the script. So it's a straightforward process. If you do an ls, you see that I have a miniconda_installer.sh. So this is an installer that has been compiled. So you will not be able to understand anything that is written there. All you need to do is just start the installation like this, and it will complete the installation process. And once the installation is completed, the file would be installed inside the miniconda under your home. So this is, in my case, this is under home Kamal, under your username, and the Conda environment will be installed under miniconda 3 folder. So you can see that here. So if I do miniconda 3 ls, you will see that the various files related to Conda has been already installed here. The conda.sh will be available inside the etc file, etc folder. So if you do an etc with miniconda etc and profile D, you will see that it will be inside here. So it is conda.sh. So if you do a cat here, you will see that it has various variables and path that will get initiated once you do the source on this file. To start using the Conda commands, you will, okay, let me first of all do Conda deactivate. Okay, and if I do Conda, okay, so by default I am able to get the Conda command in my Linux shell. In case if you don't get such a command output, you have to use source, and then you have to take the path of the conda.sh like this, and you have to complete this process. So once you do the source of this conda.sh, then you will be able to execute all the conda related commands. That is how you first of all get the conda environment started in your entire operating system. Next, what you are going to do is we are going to create some conda environments. In order to create conda environments, we have to use conda create. Just a moment. Yeah, we have to use conda create name. So you have to give the name with the flag -n, or you can use $-name. So either of the things will work, but I prefer to use -n. Here you can use conda create, and I am going to create, let us say, YTENV. Let me give a name which is similar to YouTube, and YTENV, and I am going to say enter. That's it. So this is how you start creating the environment. So once the environment creation process completes, so it will tell you, so where the environment is going to get installed. It is going to be installed in miniconda/envs under that YTENV. So that is where it is going to get installed. So it is providing you that information. You can continue, and it is done. So now, in order to activate that environment, the conda itself provides you the next steps. So you can say conda activate, and if you say YTENV, the environment will get activated. It's as simple as that. Next, once you have the environment activated, before this, let me do one more important thing. Let me deactivate the environment. Let me come out and let me do a conda list. Okay, so why I'm doing this conda list? Conda list tells me what are the various libraries that is installed in the particular environment. So this is the base conda environment. We can consider this as a parent conda environment. What we can do is we can actually change the Python version also. So we can do a conda activate, and let us see what is the environment first of all available in the conda env. So let us do, now I am inside the conda environment YTENV, and I am going to say list again. To your surprise, you don't find anything. So why is that? Because we have not installed any kind of packages in this environment. So we have to install the packages, and in order to install the packages, you have to provide the name as well as the channel that you are going to install it from. So you can do that without providing that also. So if I say conda install pandas, now the challenge here is it is always better to give the conda forge as the channel, or else let us see what happens. So it will try to find the package, and it will ask whether to proceed or not to proceed. And you also see that it is going to download 212 MB of file. So all this information is provided to you. And now you might be thinking, why it is downloading all this file? And you can also see that it is downloading Python also separately. So each of this environment will have its own Python environment, its own pip, its own setup. Everything will be separate. I don't want to do an installation of 212 MB of file. Let us see whether we can, what is the file size when you are going to install fast API. Okay, so let us check the output. So in this case, you see that the fast API package is not available. This is one of the challenges that Conda has. Next option is you can give a what is that called, a channel, and try to make Conda to search that channel. So in this case, I have given the channel with -c switch, and I am giving the channel name Conda 4. So let us see whether it is able to find fast API in that channel. Even if it is unable to find it in that channel, then we have to only resort to pip installation. So let us give it a moment, and let's see whether it is able to find it out. As you see here, it is able to locate the fast API from Conda Forge. So let me go ahead and install. So once it starts installing, you will see the progress of each of the file installation. Also, when you are going to install libraries like that is related to natural language processing, and you are going to install CUDA toolkit and CUDA related libraries, keep one thing in mind. It is going to install the entire CUDA toolkit separately for each of the environment. And each CUDA toolkit sometimes goes above 600 to 700 MB of data. Here you can already see that it is trying to download Python 3.11.4, even though my host operating system already has 3.11.4. Most of the application might require a specific interpreter or specific version of the interpreter. So at that time, having such a freedom can be very beneficial. But other time, like when I'm making such a videos, or if you want to spin up the environment at fast rate, then probably this is not a very good option. So let us pause for a second. So now the transaction has been completed, and now let us see what are the various libraries that has got installed in this environment. So all we need to do is Conda env export, and we can give them. Let's see what happens. So the moment you say Conda Conda env export, then you will immediately see the various libraries that is installed, and it actually displays the libraries in the standard output, that is your terminal. But if I give X switch, that is the file name switch, and if I say ytenv.yaml, so what will happen is it will not show you the output of the libraries, but it would have created the YAML file, that is YAML file. And inside the YAML file, you will see the name of the environment, the channels that has been used, and the dependencies. So this is what I was trying to say. And if you look at the dependencies, it is clearly mentioning the versions that has been downloaded, and also it has got an additional hash that is attached to it. So Conda environment has a very specific way of controlling the various libraries that installed in the environment. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to deactivate this particular environment. Next, we are going to create an additional environment, but this time we are going to create it using the YAML file that we already have. Okay, so before we go to the next step, you need to ensure that the Conda config show sources. So this will show the various channels that is available in this Conda installation. This particular command returns you empty output. Then you need to add the channel using add channels Conda forge. So like this, you have to add the channel. So here I am going to add a different channel. I am going to add NVIDIA channel. So there are various other channels available. So I am going to add NVIDIA channel for your understanding. So if I do show sources right now, you will see that there is channels NVIDIA also. Like this, you can add Rapids AI channel also. This is one of the channels where you can get access to various CUDA related libraries. So I'll be taking a separate discussion on that particular libraries for your information. Now, what we are going to do next is we are going to do Conda create. So, okay, we have to do env create, and we are going to create it on a path. So we are not going to create the name using the name. We are going to create it using the path. So here we are going to use path env as the folder name, and the point here is I am going to use the file that was already created using ytenv, and then I am going to create the environment itself. So if someone shares you the YAML file, you can use that YAML file, and then you can force the Conda to create the environment based on that YAML file. So in this way, what will happen is it will take a bit of a time. So wait for it, and sometimes you might actually think that okay, it's not working at all. But what is internally happening is it's installing the various libraries in the backend, and then it will complete the transaction. It took some time for me to understand this because there is no any output as to what this particular command is doing. So give it a couple of minutes, and then you'll see that the transaction completed reply comes down. So you see that it is extracting. the packages and the transaction is completed. And once the entire process is done, you can do the Conda activate. And if you go to home and the path, so, and you'll see the environment name itself is coming as the entire path. And if you do a Conda list right now, you'll see that all the packages that was already available in the earlier case has been installed here also. And in addition to that, you can see the channel name that is also coming as Conda Forge. So like this, you can install the additional libraries as you create the environment itself. So in this way, you will be able to copy your colleagues or your people who are supporting from the open source ecosystem. Like I showed you the Uba Boga's one-click installer. You can take the Conda installation from there, and also you can copy it. So I believe that you have understood how the Conda environment can be useful for you. And do leave a like and share it with others. Subscribe to my channel for further updates on similar kind of discussion. I'll be taking up the Poetry virtual environment and Talks virtual environment in the next couple of videos. With that said, I would like to leave this video with 4 words, that is practice, 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 practice. See you guys. Have a great time.